The last time the golf course had been renovated was 1989. A lot of work needed to be done with infrastructure. That's drainage. We added 37 miles of drainage. We have 42 miles of irrigation pipe on the property now. An incredible system with ins and outs on the fairways, hard-lined irrigation on our fine fescue so we don't have irrigation hitting our fine fescue areas. And really we worked on airflow, sunlight, making sure that we had good agronomic conditions on a day-to-day basis here in the transition zone. If you've been to Congressional in the past, you really are seeing a different golf course on the ground today. So the vistas are amazing. You can see from the second hole, which is one of the higher points on the property, all the way to the far side of the back nine with the church behind the 16th green. Behind me, you'll really notice the widening of the fairways and the flow from hole to hole. We're standing here on 2T. You can see the flow from one approach over to 2T. You'll also notice we went from 24 acres of fairway to almost 50 acres of fairway. So the biggest difference from a playability standpoint is the angles too. You really have to think about, okay, where is the hole location today? What side of the fairway should I be on? What are the pitfalls? Where do I need to be today? One thing that Andrew Green really concentrated on was variety in our par threes, and we didn't have as much variety before the renovation. So in turn, he really worked hard on having a short, a mid-short, a mid-long, and a long. We're standing on our 10th tee right now, and this was really a brilliant move. The 10th hole played across the lake. It was a longish par three. And in turn, Andrew had a great idea. Not only does this help us with flow from 10 to 11, you walk off of the 10th green seamlessly over to 11T. In the past, with the 10th green being across the lake, it was quite a walk from 9 to 10, across the lake to 10 green, and then all the way back to 11T. So this was a brilliant move, fairly controversial, but it turned out to be an amazing little drop shot par three. We're looking behind my left shoulder at the 12th hole, and you really see some great framing from this fine fescue. If you look up the 15th hole right here in between 15 and 16, there's fine fescue framing the fairways. It's a beautiful aesthetic. It helps to filter water throughout the property. It's just really something that really adds character to our golf course. Behind me, you'll see one of our 139 bunkers on the golf course. They're very different than the bunkers that were here 2 years ago. They've got a great old feel to them. They have very steep faces. We really try and roll the faces every day, try and keep them firm, have the balls roll down into the bottom. There's better billy underneath them, so through all the thunderstorms that we get here in the mid-Atlantic, they hold up incredibly well. You don't have the siltation, you don't have the issues having to go out and push up bunkers. We can move over to the left here and you can see our 14th green. It's huge. It's got 3 huge plateaus on it. All of the greens were expanded. They're variable depth, and when I say variable depth, that means we went from 10 to 14 inches depending on where we were on the green. What we used was a blend of 007, Piranha, and Coho. We're really happy with the texture, we're really happy with the heat tolerance, and they've really been holding up well for us in this first year. It's a very different golf course to maintain. You can see a lot of bent grass right into bunkers on fairway edges and green edges. There are a lot of areas that we walk mow. What we're trying to do is give it an old feel too. Andrew really built kind of a 1920s era golf course, so we want to kind of respect that. There aren't any stripes out here. You'll see that it's fairly washed out. We want the ground game to be in effect. You'll see open approaches. The approaches were narrow before we made the change. You'll see wide landing areas, but you need to be in the right area on those landing areas to really attack the green. I'm so excited to be here. We're so excited to host the KPMG this week and have the best ladies in the world playing this golf course.